What up? What up? It's your boy Jon Ivy once again, my friend. All right, ladies. I know y'all got on me about the last one, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of y'all liked it. But now I got some for the men. Brothers, when y'all hear this, man, let me just. Are all men homosocials? That's the title of this. Look, man. Look. I'm old school. I don't get into all these different types of homo stuff. I mean, no disrespect to them. Look, I really don't. There's certain things I agree with and certain things I don't agree with, man. But don't be placing no labels on me that got the word homo in front of it. I just prefer not to, be involved in that. This video is about that. And it's wild. I only saw a little snippet because I wanted to know what I was getting into, man. So I'm looking at this first time just like y'all, and I ain't trying to make excuses, but yo, son. Here we go. I don't know what I'm getting myself into today. I really don't. But man, hoping that you have to excuse me ahead of time.
What is going on?
When you're in a relationship with a man, you have to listen to what he says and how he feels about women in general. Because a lot of us are dating men that are homosocials, and homosocials mean that he's not homosexual at all. He just does not find women interesting.
Homosocial.
Everything that he finds interesting has something to do with other men. Going to sporting events, hanging out with them, watching the game, playing basketball.
She's like, all gay activities.
If you ask him, hey, what do you think about this comedian? Oh, she not funny. You don't think no women are funny? Oh, what do you like to do with women? Everything involves another male. So they only find desire in having sexual experiences with women, but they don't find women interesting. And if you listen to that, you can save yourself a lot of trouble up front because you'll find out he really don't like women like that. Because everything he finds interesting in is...
Ding, 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 ding. You just figured out men. How old are you? What are you talking about? I don't get it. I don't get what she's talking about. How did that make you a homosocial because you only want women for sex? I mean, that makes you maybe a bad person. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're questioning my morals and my ethics, yeah. But a homosocial? I mean, it don't... Why do you even come up with this stuff? It just don't make sense. You just described 75% of men. Well, this day and age is more like 20%, 25% think like that. Like whatever you call a homosocial. And the 75% want to be up underneath y'all all the time, watching soap operas and eating popcorn. Getting their feet and nails done. You know what I'm saying? Walking around with matching purses. I'm just saying, like, what do you expect? Like, let me stop. See, this is why I can't give a real reaction sometimes.
Stuff that him and his homeboys would do. Him and his homeboys will like photos on Instagram. Him and his homeboys will try to send photos that are inappropriate back and forth. That's what he finds interesting.
This is crazy, man.
Insane.
I'm curious to see what these comments... No. Listen, I saw the top comment, which is now starting to make sense to me. Let's listen to the rest of this.
She said, homosocial.
Homosocial.
I said, hold on.
Hey, put that on a card.
My are just cool. I mean, I just like them. They just fun to hang around. I don't know.
That's my dog.
Right,
but it's okay for that to be your dog, but do you also find joy in hanging out with your wife or your spouse or your significant other? Some men don't find any joy in women. They don't find them entertaining. They don't think they're good actresses. They don't think they're good politicians. And that will manifest within the relationship.
I personally think if we didn't have to have sex with women, men probably wouldn't have nothing to do with any type of sexual activity, number one. Because this is just my opinion, I'm talking about heterosexual males. We're not attracted to each other. And if we didn't have to have sex, we probably would prefer to play basketball with, you know what I'm saying, play basketball, hang out, play football, and stuff like that. I don't know. We probably would do other things that wouldn't. I think y'all think that, I don't know. This is confusing to me. I don't understand what she's saying. If women didn't need men for sex or to procreate, they probably wouldn't want to have men around either. You understand what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't know. I'm not saying everything is based on that, but I think it is like based on procreation and sexual attraction, so you can procreate. Adam,
That's also because some women don't know how to provide the peace that our boys provide either.
Whoa, did you hear that at the very end? He says that's because some women don't know how to provide the peace.
No, he going too far with that. I don't agree with that choice of words.
That our boys provide either. She's like, and that makes you gay. That is insane. Now, let's be honest. As much as she tried to make it sound like it doesn't sound gay, kind of does, right? Kind of sounds like there's an underhanded calling you gay there. Maybe you identify as gay, that you're allowed to do that. But calling straight men gay because they can't name a hilarious comedian is just nuts. I have laughed to female comedians many times. I see them. They pop up on my TikTok. I like look through and I'll see a female comedian. I was like, oh, wow, they do exist. They do. But I have. You know what?
I think personally, this is my take on it. She's dealt with a lot of men who are afraid to show their emotions because those are the type of men that she's attracted to. Probably, the street type of dudes. This is just my take. The real tough dudes that, don't cry or nothing like that. They ain't never cried in their life, or, just the real manly type of men that she's had so much of that she don't know that there are balanced men out here too. There are men out here who, you know what I'm saying? They just regular people. They act like regular people. They're not overly masculine and they're not feminine. They like real men. They defend themselves when they got to. They might be into a wide variety of different things, but she likes a certain type, and she wants that certain type of man to start acting like the regular men would act. Yeah, I don't know. It's confusing. let me keep on.
What I mean? Now, can I name my favorite female comedian? I don't know. Does that make me a homosocial? This is insane. What this does sound like, though, what she's saying sounds like the type of situation where maybe you're in a relationship with a man and you're trying to communicate with him that you want to spend more time with him. And maybe you are stressing him out. Maybe you're not somebody who knows how to have a good time, right? Maybe when he's with you, it eventually leads to things.
He being nice. Look, women, we don't want to be up and underneath y'all all the time. No man does. I don't care how much you're in love, how long you've been together. A real man don't want to be up underneath you all the time. And then when he up underneath you, you want to be talking about relationships. He already in a relationship. Now you want to go to bed talking about relationships. You want to go to a seminar talking about relationships. You want to go to counseling talking about relationships. Every time we watch a movie, it's about relationships. We go to see a comedian. She in comedy talking about relationships. We fed up with it. We just want to go fishing with a dude who ain't even gonna talk to us. You understand what I'm saying? We know my homeboy ain't gonna talk my head off. We might sit in the same room for about 5 hours and say about 2-3 words to each other and be cool.
Things you aren't doing or problems. When men hang out with other men, the reason why it's enjoyable is that there's low pressure and stress in many cases. And what women interpret as men being shallow is really just men giving each other the space to breathe without bringing up stressful conversations. For example,
see, when they start talking like this, then it starts to sound feminine because now you're bringing emotions and stuff into it. Oh, my homeboy give me peace when I'm around him. He give me my emotional space. Man, get out of here with all that. We just don't want to be around y'all on a Saturday. Look, we just want to go barbecue and drink beer. You don't like beer. You don't like sports. I mean, even if you do like sports and you're around, maybe I want to talk about titties and how good the girl look on stage, or a girl I used to see back in the day, and you understand, we want to reminisce a little bit. We don't want you around while we doing that. Y'all just gotta accept it.
Women get together,
I'm sorry.
they'll talk about like breakups.
Sorry, but it's women that think they gotta be on every set. You can't be on every set. Dang, get a man some space.
Relationship struggles, maybe having to move somewhere because they can't afford the place they're living in. When men come together, that's like the last thing they want to talk about. You don't want to spend the majority of the time, right, with your boy talking about that person's problems, stress. Sure, it's healthy to do that. I'm not saying don't do that, right? You do need somebody who you can talk through that with. A man preferably, and I think a lot of men would benefit from that. But the majority of the time, they're going to avoid, questions that are just going to bring up stress for no apparent reason. But I think the dude at the end here hit it right on the nail when it comes to this conversation of homosocial. A phrase I've never heard until I've heard this chick here actually speak it out. He says sometimes, there are women who don't know how to provide that peace. And the only peace that man gets is when he steps outside of that house.
I see what he's saying. He's not bothered. I see what they're saying now. He's not bothered by anything. Like, my homeboy don't stress me out.
Or that woman's presence. Now you can look at that and say, oh, homosocial. That's what you are. Or you could say, how can we work through the situations we're going through? How can we?
Bro, I heard you was a homosocial, dog. This is insane.
Learn to communicate so that this can be a helpful and peaceful environment for you as well. And in order to do that, you're going to have to accept honesty from that man, which is something that a lot of men feel like they just can't be with.
Is homosocial a real thing, or did she just make that shit up? Because I'm as homosocial as it gets. I'm a dude. Like, being a dude is just like illegal now, bro. Like, you don't have common interests with women?
Thank you. I thought, man, I was starting to get mad at this video, because I was like, man, if dudes is going around calling themselves homosocials, bro, we're cooked.
If she don't like basketball, man, no. Not if she don't like video games and shit, no. Like, we could talk about a show, but if we don't like the same shows, then no.
Social thing just sounds like a slight insult. And I have to now talk to our AI assistant barista, Ms. Coffee, and find out who exactly came up with this phrase. Ms. Coffee, who came up with the phrase homosocial? Please help us out.
The term homosocial, often seen in discussions of homosocial behavior or homosocial desire, comes from the literary critic and theorist Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick. She popularized it in her 1985 book, Between Men, English Literature and Male Homosocial Desire. Sedgwick used homosocial to describe same-sex social bonds that are not necessarily sexual.
So, since the beginning of time, men have always congregated amongst themselves, hunt, fish, build, and women have congregated among themselves, cook, whatever. Since the beginning of time. Now, we're changing the social dynamic. Why? I mean, why we got to label what's already known? Look, we don't like to hang around y'all all the time. Some of y'all are annoying to men. It ain't that we think you're annoying all the time. It's just that, look, y'all can be a lot to handle on a consistent basis. That's why you got girlfriends. That's why you wake up in the morning on the phone. You go to sleep at lunchtime. You're talking to your homegirl. You at the grocery store holding up to the line with your 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? Not that the number of kids you got matter or whatever. Okay, if you got 2 or 10, anyway, you're on your phone with your girl. I don't get it. You go out with when you go out with the same girls. Y'all can handle each other. Y'all like that. If a dude, most of the time, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Number one, this is the whole thing. If we ain't hanging with our boys, we'd rather be by ourselves most of the time. That's what women don't get. A lot of guys like to be by themselves if they're not with their homeboys. That's what we like to be with ourselves, learning about the things we like to do, like building. If we fish, we at Bass Pro Shop. If we build, we might be at Habitat for Humanity or Lowe's at Home Depot, chilling. You know what I'm saying? We might stop and get a rack of ribs before we bring it on back home. Homeboy might call. We might stop over there for just a second and drink a beer, but we ain't staying long. So I don't understand. Y'all think we out partying and doing the stuff that y'all do. We don't.
Mentorships or alliances between men, but that exist alongside or sometimes blur with homoerotic desire. The word itself borrows from the structure of homosexual, but Sedgwick emphasized the social rather than the sexual.
I knew it. There you go. So they're trying to slide a new homosexual word in. That's it, man. You got to be careful. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There are people from all walks of life that has nothing to do with me. You live your life the way you want to do it. Live it. I'm going to live my life the way I want to live it. And that's all I had to say about that. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't down with stuff I ain't down with.
Yeah, let's go ahead and trace to see if anyone used it before her. I'm curious.
Great question, love. Let's trace it. Origins of homosocial. Early sociology, anthropology, pre-1980s. The word homosocial actually appears before Sedgwick. Some sociologists and anthropologists in the mid-20th century used it to describe same-sex social environments, like all-male clubs, fraternities, or military groups, where bonding happens apart from women. Example, the anthropologist Jean Lippmann-Blumen, 1976, used homosocial in her article, Toward a Homosocial Theory of Sex Roles, an explanation of the sex segregation of social institutions. She framed it as men preferring to interact with other men in ways that reinforced male dominance. Eve Kosofsky Sedgwick, 1985.
Why do people nowadays have such a problem with people only wanting to interact with people they have things in common with? Those are most of the arguments that go on, especially in our society. Why is it such a crime that I don't want to be around some people all the time? I ain't talking about I don't want to be around them. I'm talking about consistently all the time. I don't think there's anything wrong with people feeling that way. Not that, I'm sorry. Let me shut the hell up.
Sedgwick didn't invent the word itself, but she redefined and popularized it in her book Between Men.
All right, so Eve Kosofsky Sedgwick. I'm going to have a difficult time with that middle name right there. But this is her. Here she is. It all makes sense, right? Eve Sedgwick was an American feminist academic scholar.
We get
there
to
we go.
the bottom.
Now it all makes sense. And this is why you want to be careful to know who coined these words. What do these words evolve to? Obviously, it's not surprising that this term has evolved into something completely different following feminism.
Emotional or social closeness men have with each other that they don't have with women. Examples, a man seeking approval or admiration from his male peers, being emotionally vulnerable with only his male friends, and in narcissistic men, this hits the nail on the head. Obsessing over male bosses or coworkers, close intense relationships with men but avoiding emotional closeness with women. I've asked myself these questions before. Why is he always trying?
Dude, if you're a woman and you think like that, that's probably why you're single still. I'm just gonna lie. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, women, they don't get it, and we don't get it either, men. I mean, most of my audience are men, and I appreciate the women that tune in, right? But check this out. If a woman thinks like this, she don't understand men at all. And I think that's the problem with women that keep on saying, oh, I can't find a man, I can't find a man. There's no good men, there's no high value, low value, all this. No, you just don't get it. That's what it is. Same thing with men too. I mean, I don't know if I'm even going to put this
impress
out.
His male boss, but he could care less about how I feel. Why is he emotionally cold with me, but so nice with him? Like he
Do you talk like that all the time? That could have something to do.
Never gives him an attitude, but with me, watch out. Point of all this is that these men don't actually like women. They just are with women because they want to have access to women, they want to have control over women.
Sex, yes. And if you're the type that you get emotionally involved with the man, because you're listening to how he wooing you and telling you how beautiful you are at the beginning, and he's laying out the roses and writing poetry and doing everything to pull your heartstring till he get them draws, and then he turns into Al Bundy. You understand? Because you don't get it. Look, you don't get it. You don't get it. And now you think you're married or you're dating the wrong guy. No. You just don't understand men.
The validation, and of course the sex. But they don't actually respect or want to connect with us.
No.
Maybe a lot of.
No, we don't. We don't want to. We don't expect it. Like, yeah, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not no dog type of dude. I mean, I'm far from it, but I'm fed up. Sometimes you do just want to be a man in a relationship. Just be a damn man. I don't want to look at Lifetime today. Or, you know what? Some people that, their peace, when you're married and you've been married for a long time, that becomes your best friend and your, confident. That's something different. You grow into that type of stuff. But if you expect me to do that all the time, you're crazy. You're crazy.
Hey, just go be with one another because y'all are pissing me off now.
Everything that he finds interesting has something to do with other men. Going to sporting events, hanging out with them.
So now as men, we're not even allowed to have shared interests with our friends because if we do, according to her, it makes us homosocials. So all the buzzwords that they normally use, toxic masculinity, narcissists, men being down low, all those words, they don't have the same effect anymore that it once did. So she's trying to come up with something new to...
Gay. They're calling us gay. That's not new. They mad at us because that's what women do.
Insult and shame men for just being men. Because if that makes sense, then we can apply the same logic to women. If a woman decides to go to the nail salon with her girlfriend, then she's a homosocial. If she decides to go to brunch with a bunch of her girls,
my boy, it don't work backwards because they already know they homosocials. They already know this. They're trying to use reverse psychology. If you give a damn about them calling you that, then that's what they want you to care about. If you just don't look, this is a bunch of garbage, and you stand on your stance, on your belief that this is a bunch of garbage, they want you to create conversations about this crap.
then she's a homosocial. You see how stupid that sounds? That's just a woman that's hanging out with her friends that has shared interests. Also, there's a lot of men out there that love to hang out with their women instead of their homeboys. The problem is you don't have a man. That's why you came up with that bullshit.
That's one of the craziest things I ever heard in my life, y'all. In my entire life. Look, men are men, women are women, man. In my opinion, man, you're going to have people who are different. They don't fit the status quo about things. You're going to have some men that are happy, chopping a piece of wood, and you're going to have some men that are happy writing the poetry or growing a flower, or some men that are into martial art. You know what I'm saying? We come in a variety of different likes and dislikes. We come with a variety of different likes and dislikes, okay? But one thing I know, the whole real men and fake men, that's pure speculation. There ain't no, but when you start to question a man's sexuality because he doesn't have the type of personality that you would like him to have, that's BS. You need to stop doing that. You understand? Like, you don't get it. Y'all not getting it. Men like to do manly things. We might chill with our homeboys because, like you said, our homeboys don't bother us. Or maybe when I talk about sports with you, yeah, it's fun, but you don't really understand the game like my homeboy understand it. So when me and him talk about it, we, you know what I'm saying, we can talk about it for a longer period of time or different conversations, or simply be the fact that maybe my homeboy has a different perspective on things and conversations that you don't have that more align more with me, but I'm still acceptive of your, you know, the way you see things, but I don't want to hear that all day. It's a bunch of different reasons, but this is just why? Why start making up stuff about people? Why question a man's manhood because that man's not interested in you? There's plenty other, there's somebody for everybody. There's plenty of men out here for everybody. I mean, for all you women. There's single men out here. Like, it's good single men out here. Problem is, I don't think you want the good man. You just don't want the good one. The man you looking for you, the soft, sweet man, he's out there. You want soft and sweet, but you want him to look rugged and mean. You understand? Sometimes it don't work like that. Look, I don't know. This was wild, but press that subscribe button, man. Follow your boy. Listen up.